going to invite Bobby, and then I have a couple of announcements to make. Hold on a second. Not important, but okay. I gotta get my phone real quick. Okay. All right, I just have to. I'm pretty well up to date on the projections, including the SGA being out thing. But I mean, obviously, there could be more news that comes through. So, what I want to handle first is, well, should we do NFL first? No, I have to remind myself though. I have to figure out what I want to do running back wise with my season-long team. I said this in the Discord. So this is the last week before the playoffs, and I put almost no work into this whole year, and yet still I have a chance to make the playoffs if I win this week. And so I have one decision I still have to make here. Let me let Bobby in here real quick. Hey, what's going on? So I guess what I'm going to do with my running back in that question.
Okay.
I'm not going to play Ingram. I can always change my mind between Robinson and Jacobs later, but I'll just won't play Ingram.
Yeah.
And I'll just leave it between those other two. Okay.
I don't even know if I like Ingram anyway on a single game slate tonight. So.
Well, I'm just these guys. I just need one of them for my season long, and they project like within like a half a point of one another. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. No, I got you.
It doesn't really matter which one I take. I figure it'd be fun to like let the people kind of decide.
Yeah, I got you.
So I'm up to date. Yeah, I mean, I'm up to date with respect to with all the Oklahoma City guys. So I got all those projections up for that. The one thing, well, I'm sure there's others, but the thing that I'm still eagerly waiting is Norman Powell, right? I mean, we're probably not going to get that for quite a while, right?
What is that really going to do for us, though?
Well,
what do we need any other value for?
Well, I don't know. I kind of like that idea of stacking that game.
I tried to stack that game so many times today, and but it doesn't. I don't think he changes much. You know what I mean? So, you mean just playing Powell?
Yeah,
he's fine. Like, I don't see.
You don't think it's that big a deal?
I don't even I don't even know if he's playable anymore. Like, I mean, this is crazy what we have going on tonight. It's going to be a wild fest. I mean, not playable. That's too strong. But I'm just trying to overpay for everybody because this makes absolutely no sense. Like, I mean, this is just a ridiculous slate. We did get the Thunder starting lineup, which I appreciate getting early. Mann, Jerome, Dort, Baisley, Robinson, Earl. Exactly what I thought it would be. And then you're going to want to play some Roby also, and you're definitely going to want to play some Poku.
You're definitely going to want to play Poku?
All of these guys are being misprojected, at least on the site I'm looking at.
Okay.
In my opinion. They're starting to catch up a little bit, but like I have Baisley projected at playing, at 25 fantasy points. It's almost impossible to only have like a 9-man rotation basically and have not have at least a couple guys get 30. And I think there's a good chance like 5 guys get 30 on the OKC side. And now you have the Memphis side is wide open too. So you play Dylan Brooks, you play Jaren Jackson, you play Desmond Bain. And
here's what I have. So I have, I mean, just as far as projections go for these guys, I got like 31 for Dort. I got 28 for Mann. And then 25 for Jerome, 25 for Baisley, basically 25 for Earl. So you're saying that those are just too low, all of them, pretty much.
The only way they're not too low is if they genuinely give everybody like 24 minutes.
Okay.
And that's possible, man. I mean, it is definitely possible.
Well, what you're getting at, the point that Bobby's making without making it, is that from a statistical perspective, you can project like 8 guys with a median or a mean, but that's not the way it's going to work. Someone's going to get more and someone's going to get less. You know? So to project like all these guys to getting like equal is just kind of foolhardy. You're going to have to, I don't want to say take a stand, but you have to accept that some of these guys are just going to play more and some of them are just going to play less. I mean, it's going to add up to, like you say, it's going to add up to 240 minutes regardless of how you do it. But like you said, it's not just going to be like 24 minutes like across the board.
Right.
So I think that's
right.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible. Like I look, this game could get so ugly. I think it's a good time to bet the under if you're good. You're gonna do anything, but it should be ugly. I do have this weird feeling that OKC this might actually like be like a show out kind of a game for some people. And I personally, I think Poku is like one of the sharpest plays especially since he's not starting on the slate. He can do all the things. You know what I mean? He's incredibly inefficient this season, but he's got the capability to play to put up a monster number, and somebody's going to have to. It's almost. I mean, a monster number 30 would be great. Like for their prices. Right. So it's really hard to fade for me. I think I'm just marrying myself to this, and it's really hard on both sides, and it means it's also really hard not to play Giannis. On FanDuel, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know if on FanDuel I can even fade Giannis. I did find a way to fade him in one of my big buy-ins on DraftKings. But I mean, these projection of ownership, like what do you think? What do you have him there around 50% or something? I think he's going to.
Like what I said, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
not even. I have him at like 32%. It's ridiculous.
Who the hell are people going to play?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, what they have, they have like Simon's 45, Man 45. These all make sense, but the reason why
I don't think Man is 45
so you could jam freaking Giannis in. Like
Man's going to be like probably 80 to 85.
Could be.
I can't see how it doesn't happen. I just think that they're slow to react because I mean these guys. It's just
absolutely. Well, that's the last. Let me tell you something. Again, I've been tracking these things for like a year. That's literally the last thing, if at all, to adjust. Like sometimes they don't even update ownership after this news comes in. They just don't do it.
Yep. I'm sure we'll have somebody come in and ask us shortly how to rank the OKC value, and I will go through it at that moment because it is really tough. And also, you have like Derrick Rose projected. Derrick Rose is going to go nuts tonight. Like, I mean,
I have another question about that game. There was news that RJ Barrett was questionable. Is there confirmation on that yet?
He's out. So is Mitchell Robinson.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's a wild slate. I'll just say what I'm doing for spend ups to try and get off. I'm overpaying for like some Scotty Barnes. I'm playing Dylan Brooks and what's his name, and Bane on both sides, and Jaren Jackson Jr. But to get different, I don't even think it's gonna be different anymore. I think it would have been different to start the day, but DeJounte Murray is like one of my favorite plays on the slate.
Yeah.
And what's weird is like Simons is actually fadeable now. I don't think you necessarily should like full fade him, but I think he's definitely he was going to be in almost all of my lineups when the day started, and that certainly is not going to be the case anymore. But that's going to be the name of the game. Maybe try to find the other guys to spend up on. But even like Julius Randle is getting tons of love. Even with the high prices, I think DeRozan and Levine will definitely be owned on FanDuel. But like maybe that's something you could do is play one of these situations. I would not prefer. I don't think I'd prefer to go against Vucevic here. It's a little bit of a tough matchup. But I would play DeRozan or Levine where they're more expensive. It's you have to try to find the ways you can possibly get off the board. Fred VanVleet is you know what, he was going to be low on, now he looks like he's getting some ownership traction. Scotty Barnes, like I said, 7,500. Good game environment for him, I guess.
You noticed that what's his name was out for Memphis, right? Anderson.
Anderson and Zaire Williams, which actually
Okay.
does open up more than maybe people realize.
So you're on that. Okay, good.
Yeah, but I mean, I was going to play these guys anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm just stacking that game, and you stack and pray, and you do it different ways. You try to get a little bit unusual. You play the bench guys for OKC rather than the starting guys. I mean, you play the starting guys too, but you make a 4-man stack and you try and include one of the bench guys, whether it's Poku or Roby. Maybe even just play Poku, Roby, and Man in one lineup or something like that. I do think Man is the better play than Jerome, but man, it's close. They're all such good plays. Like, I don't know how. I mean, it would just take some fluky, dude. You could go for OKC alone. You could leave OKC alone if you want to. I'm telling you right now, I don't think you can win without having one of these guys. I really don't. I don't think you can win possibly without having two of these guys. It's really hard to get 10Xs on salaries. And you could say, hey, maybe you don't need it, but you do have Giannis there at 12K, like who we'd love to play. DeJounte Murray's a great play. Julius Randle, Fred VanVleet. These guys are all really, they're going to put up in the 40s somewhere. So those 30s to go with it at 3K. If you guys want to leave them alone, I absolutely don't support it. Go ahead and do it. I just don't see how you do it. I really don't. Sheets, what are you finding? Like, if you do, have you run any builds yet? And how much of the OKC players are you getting?
Yeah, so I'm just going to tell you in a second because I'm just finishing the FanDuel part of it. But before I get into the OKC stuff, I mean, remember the OKC value doesn't belittle. I mean, okay, I don't say it doesn't belittle. It makes it less relatively strong, but those Phoenix and Portland plays are still really good.
Absolutely, but I don't know if we need to like. Who exactly are you playing? I mean, I agree. I think Shamet is probably a little thin now. I think Cameron Payne is more viable because he can put up a real number. And honestly, yeah, there are 1,000 difference. Big deal. You could leave 1,000 on the table tonight if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe that's the way you could try to fade OKC. I guess I'm sorry to play OKC. I really think you can leave money on the table. Like, I don't know, man. I'm sort of at a loss with this slate because I understand the temptation to try to avoid the OKC situation, but even if you're avoiding it, you should play two guys. Like, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, let me tell you what I have right now. So
okay,
yeah, I mean, I got a lot of this. Yeah, you're right. I mean, in like total vanilla optimals which I built, I have 100% Man, like 80% Jerome, like 60% Dort, like 30% Baisley. That's those are the main ones, right? I mean, like
what? Yeah, and then I mean, I think Robinson, Earl, Roby, and Poku are very under projected right now.
Yeah, so those are the guys. So those are the guys you're supposed to play, right? To pivot off those others, I think.
In addition, they also didn't play all the minutes last night, and this is a back-to-back for them. Okay. So it's logical that they would try and give them a chance now. And we've seen Poku sort of show out in these situations before, and I'm just very tempted to do it. And I think Roby, who only played 14 minutes, Poku, who only played 8 minutes yesterday, I think there's an argument for them. And I'm going to play some Dort, but only in stacks.
Okay.
Unfortunately, basically everything I have is.
But everything's a stack, right? I mean, like
yeah, because I'm playing one of Brooks, Baines, Jackson, or Tyus Jones. If you want a great run back in that game, play DeAnthony Melton.
Ooh, okay.
That's the really savvy. Like, look, it may not work out, but it could like explode the whole slate. Like he could put up 45 fantasy points in this game and outscore everybody else on his team. He has the ability to do it. And by the way, we don't even have a starting lineup for them yet. I think it'll be the same. But just to throw it out there, that DeAnthony Melton is like, he's good, man. He can really play.
Do everything.
Yeah. So I just think that's where I'm sort of siding with this situation.
Yeah, I'm running a new set of everything with just for the hell of it with Barrett out.
Yeah.
See if it makes that much of a difference. I mean, it's got to a little bit. I mean,
yeah.
Like, are you playing these Knicks like in big buy-ins?
On FanDuel, I am.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get Derrick Rose a spot. Like, you know what I mean? It's like at one point, do I fade Simons for him? I actually think that's viable.
Can you still play Dennis Smith Jr.?
You can play. I mean, it's a reach on this slate now to me because like, why are we like? He has to. So many things have to go just perfectly. just to get him against one of these guys hitting their basically their median projection.
Right.
For him to go off, like he's going to have to go off to get their median projection. I mean, you might want to do some of it. I do really like, some other plays. DeAndre Ayton's another guy. I have a lot of lineups. Be really careful. In my opinion, you don't play Chris Paul tonight.
Tell me about that.
Well, first of all, everybody's thinking that because Booker's out, that it just means Paul's gonna go nuts and all this. Remember, this is the front. I believe it's the front of a back-to-back with them, and I believe they're playing Golden State again, right, tomorrow.
Right.
So why are they gonna overextend these guys in a game they should be able to control anyway?
Okay.
So that's my thinking.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I really wonder, how I can't figure out the answer to this question is how many can you get away with playing from OKC? I can't seem to get less than 2.
What's the minimum you mean?
What's the minimum? Yeah, I think you might need I think you need 1 for sure. And then I think you might need 2.
I like your idea though of playing the other guys.
Yeah. I think it's the way to go. I think it's the way to do this. I think it's good to run it back. I've got a Bane Jackson lineup with Roby, Poku, and what's his name? Trey Mann. But as I have the 1 starter and then the 2 bench guys with Bane and Jackson on the other side. My other one, I've got Robinson, Earl, the normal ones, Mann and oh no, I actually did fade. Where's Ty Jerome? Uh-oh. That's a mistake on my part. You can fade.
We forgot Ty Jerome.
Well, I just don't see. How do I have him 50%, but he's not in either? Am I blind right now?
He's none of your lineup somehow.
He's not in either of my big ones, and I think that's just an accident. I just think I made a mistake. But I do like Mann better for what it's worth. I don't know. It's what a weird slate.
This is a weird sport, man.
It's so freaking weird, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's just I don't know how they're gonna do this. This is nuts. Jerome last night, for what it's worth, what did he play? Played 15 minutes. It's pretty good. That means we can probably be assured that he's gonna play 28-ish. Whatever assured means these days, I don't know anymore.
What's the spread? Is there a spread in that game?
It's 11 still that I see. I mean, don't forget, Memphis is now down 2 of their starters.
I know. That's what I mean. Yeah.
But Memphis should beat the hell out of them. But even if they do, you're still gonna be able to get there, I think.
Right.
I think you can still get home pretty easily, actually.
I'll run one more here, and then I'll tell you if it means anything. One sec. Who cares about the ownership? Just run this. Oops.
Jerome, Robinson, Earl. So I'm gonna fade, man. Just
because? I mean,
it feels so stupid. On FanDuel, you have more of an argument to fade, man, but you'll also get slightly lower ownership on him.
Yeah, those guys did never get that much ownership. Those 3,500 guys over there.
Yeah, but he's 46 over there.
Oh, okay.
So, this feels like a stack and pray slate.
Which game though?
Well, just I think it's the Memphis game. I don't.
Yeah, what's his name moved up the list, as you might imagine. Derrick Rose, yeah. Alec Burks.
I love Alec Burks too, and Derrick Rose. But
yeah,
who you play them over? You could skip the Dylan Brooks and the Baines and the what's it called of the world. I don't know. It's just hard for me to see doing any of this. This is such a bizarre slate. Yeah.
We'll do this. Maybe I'll go off of what you said. Make it be like a stack, just a stack type slate.
It definitely makes things easier. Like that.
Yeah, right.
Think about and CJ, CJ's the other obvious spend up, right? I don't think I need to say that one. I think he's pretty clearly the guy we want.
On FanDuel, just for whatever it's worth, the guy, the next best, I don't even say spend up, but Jaren Jackson is really, really well. He's also 60%. I have him over there ownership. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I actually faded him on FanDuel because of the ownership.
Oh, okay.
I'm playing Randall, Roby. Like that's who they're not going to play. They're going to play Roby at 4,900 coming off the bench. I'll do that. I have no problem.
Yeah.
And by the way,
does anybody really know who's going to be in that game at the end? I feel like
no. That's the thing is that I don't think they know.
Yeah,
I really don't.
Right.
I think you could ask the team, and they have no idea. And again, for what it's worth, like going back to my love of there's some very weirdness from last night. I was obsessed with the what's it called play, the Joel Embiid, who literally had the worst game of his career and still put up 53 fantasy points.
Amazing, right?
He was 2 for 14 from the floor. He didn't make a field goal till late in the third quarter. like, how is he doing this? When he blocked shots, he got tons of boards. If he has anywhere near a normal game, he puts up like 70 or more. Yeah, but this is an ugly slate. Guys, ask some questions, guys. Good evening, Miami Mike. Good to see you in here, buddy. I really don't know what else to say about this slate. Like, it became a tiny slate for me. I don't think I'm missing anything. I just think there's other weird guys who no one's going to play that are reasonably priced. And, all the Spurs that aren't named DeJounte Murray, Derek White, Podol, Keldon Johnson are all solid plays. Obviously Nurkic is a strong play, but again, as I said the other night, like it wasn't just the back-to-back, just don't be so sure if those minutes aren't 26 or so. Even still, I think he crushes. I don't think it matters. I'm just trying to find other plays here that are viable. One that I didn't think anyone was going to play, but everybody seems to caught on to the fact that yes, Cade Cunningham should have been 100% owned every time he was under 6K because now he's going to be 15% on this kind of a slate, which is just kind of boy, he's really good, by the way.
Cade? Yeah,
he's really, really good. The other guys who I like today, Drew Holiday and Middleton, I just can't find a place for them exactly.
Right.
It's really about how many roster spots. Like if we had to make an 18-man roster tonight, I could have some fun with that one. It's like, I don't know, man. You can't. I don't know.
You can make more lineups.
That's what I'm doing, but I literally have to actively go so far out of my way to not play Giannis. But if he ends up less than 50% owned, I'm more than happy to play him. I have him 100% on FanDuel and I have him 80% on DraftKings. I think that actually it might not be the best Giannis game, but like, what does it have to be? Who else on the slate is going to put up 60? For sure, right? Like almost for sure. Add the fact that it's a challenging game too for them. I mean, he put up 69.5 last night, and that's the guy's just freaking amazing. All right. Favorite spend up for point guard on FanDuel is so I guess I'm calling McCollum would be the shooting guard on FanDuel, and then Murray would be my favorite spend up at point guard. How about for you, Sheets? Who would you spend up on FanDuel?
I'm just finishing up DraftKings right now.
Okay, all right. I'll keep answering the other ones. Is DeRozan an okay pivot on FanDuel, or should you just play McCollum? DeRozan is an okay pivot, but you might want to play both of them too. And I like the DeRozan play quite a bit. I have DeRozan and I think DeRozan and Randall make for a nice little 2-man back and forth. Get a little bit of that game exposure.
Rose.
This is the earliest I've ever had nothing else to add to my lineups. Really, I'm usually scrambling and trying to figure out what's going on, but I can't imagine anything could open up later that we're not accounting for.
Yeah, let me just fix my FanDuels now. FanDuel.
Guys, keep popping in the questions. We know we love to hear it. We need to hear it because I need to have something to talk about here.
Well, you want to talk about whether we're supposed to play Amari Cooper tonight?
Sure. Based on the ownership and the situation, I would say probably not.
Okay. Just like in general, like you have like a guy that's expensive, it's limited. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, and by the way, that would be a great time to play him if no one was gonna play him, but that's not going to be the case, I don't think, because the projections still love him. least from what I can see. Let me see if they've updated a couple things.
Yeah, that's the thing. They can't like. I don't think they can project like a limited. You know what I mean? I don't think they can change that
Right.
unless they do a manual. I mean, like that's not their style. You know, it's like,
Right. It probably should be.
yeah, that's why you don't have to go by what they say, right?
Yeah. I think Gallup is a tremendous play tonight. I think he's going to get lower ownership than people think.
Yep.
I think all this does is make CeeDee Lamb a much better play because that means at least some of the time when Cooper's lined up, he'll have to deal with the defensive back who I never remember his name, who's really good.
Diggs? Oh no, that's Dallas. Oh, I'm Lattimore.
Lattimore. Yeah, Lattimore. But I'm showing the same ownership for Cooper and Lamb. If that's true, that's just crazy.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And overpaying for Schultz is something I like doing tonight.
Okay, that's cool.
You know, New Orleans is good against a tight end, but I mean, again, if we have a little less Amari Cooper, you're looking for things that no one's going to do. I think that's a cool one. I am going to, assuming that he's active, play some Noah Brown. I am going to, if he's active, play a little bit of Kenny Stills at 200.
I like that. Yeah, it's the second time you mentioned that. I kind of like that.
Yeah, and it kind of fits into my line. I just don't think anyone's going to do it. He may literally not get a snap, but he also, he's only like 10. What is he? He's plus 1,030 for a touchdown. That's not that crazy.
Like, what's that? You mean 10 to 1?
Yeah.
That means he's basically starting, I think.
But he can't though. Like how many receivers can they start? You know?
Maybe they're just giving you a bad line, hoping people bet it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's the same thing Ronald Jones was when he scored his touchdown. I mean, they do have a bunch of options.
That's a terrible bet.
It's a horrible bet.
Can I lay 10 to 1?
Seriously, I'll give anybody any amount to take lay 10 to 1 here for Kenny Stills. But you've also got, you've got little Jordan Humphrey out there who might play, maybe not. Ty Montgomery's there who can possibly be used even in the back. I don't know. It's pretty thin, the Stills thing, but I'm going to still take a shot with it. It's just really one catch. It's all you need. I have literally zero of Mark Ingram, who's the most underpriced player. It's
really
price. Yeah, I just decided I'm not. I think I might look. I'm going to probably end up with him in a couple when I finish building, but I really like the idea of trying to fade him here.
One thing I will tell you about my FanDuel lineups is there's money left in some of these.
Yeah.
These NBAs.
Quickly is starting, by the way.
No wonder he was showing up.
He played like 300 minutes the other night too.
Ugh. Wait, so who's not starting? Oh, Rose, right? Okay.
Yeah, Rose. I like that. I like that play quickly at 5K. I just don't think I can get to it. I got too much of the other stuff.
Right.
I did force Derrick Rose into a couple lineups just now, though, because it's just.
Yeah, I got him. I got him one of my bigger ones.
Yeah.
I have the Rose and Burks together.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
So what I'm gonna do, I think I like the dude says. I think Amari. I think I want to hit the X button on him.
You want to hit the X button on an Amari Cooper?
I think so.
I don't blame you, especially if these ownerships are anywhere
it's
near.
It's probably pretty bad, but I think I want to do it anyway.
Answer a few quick questions. Ty Jerome or Shamet? It's Ty Jerome by a lot. Now, it doesn't mean Shamet can never outscore him. It's just so hard. Shamet has to have like a ceiling game off the bench, and just to probably equal the average output of Jerome. I don't know. Do you need to stick with game stacks in your lineup versus all the plays or taking guys from 8 or 9 different? You can do it however you want. There's no reason that you have to stack. But tonight is that's what I'm doing. Let's see what else we got here. Rose or Simons and favorite power forward on DK. Favorite power forward is going to be Giannis, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, one of those guys, or Jackson for me. What was the other part of the question?
Oh, Bobby, you're gonna love what I have in this showdown slate. Do you know what I have? And there's no way I'm changing it. I have 15% Noah Brown in the captain.
Who in the captain? Oh, who in the captain?
Noah Brown in the captain.
Oh my goodness! Look at that.
15%.
Wow.
Let's go.
Why not? He
I
looked
just
great.
I hope he's active. Let's make sure he's active.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
He's wearing a uniform. He's going to be playing.
Yep.
Well. It should come as no surprise, because what's the last thing I said I was doing? Was hitting the X button on Cooper, and that's what happens when you hit the X button on Cooper, right? you get some other wide receiver more exposed.
Right. Boy, oh boy, this is a weird slate. I'm just looking through some other plays and see if I left anybody out of my things. I've got 56% DeJounte Murray, 80% Giannis, 30% Roby, 27% Baisley, who's like one of probably my lowest owned of all of them, even though I like him. 50% on FanDuel, 37% Dort, 73% Man, which feels really light. 63% Jerome, which also feels light. 25% Robinson Earl. And I think that's mostly all the guys I'm playing from that side. McCollum, I've got at 60% just because it's too easy. Yikes.
I didn't play anybody over 60% today.
You didn't?
No.
Wow, you've really changed your thing. You're Mr. selling out on something, and then now you're changing your tune a little bit.
Well, I just feel there's more plays. You know what I mean? I did it on purpose today. If I ran my optimals or whatever, I told you who I get. I got 100% to Jerome, 100% Man. I really all 100. And I just feel as though that there's just other ranges of outcomes in there. So I just literally and 100% Giannis. And you know what I did? I just said, okay, I'm just going to force myself to 60% max and just see what kind of distribution I can get somewhere else.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be a very, very common build to go value, Giannis, whatever. And so let's just see what happens in those other 40% of lineups.
Right. And I can even say, like, look, let's say Trey Mann scores 25 fantasy points tonight. Right. But Poku can go out there and score 35.
Right.
Right. Just I think you want to keep some guys from there, but you do want to mix them up a little bit. So I like that. I like that way of doing it. For what it's worth, my big buy-ins, I'm only on both sites. I have 50% of each of Man and Jerome.
Okay.
Didn't completely sell out on both of them. Feels weird though. I'd love to see somebody get a couple quick fouls and then you get Poku in there right away and just smashing everything.
Right. That would be so badass if you actually got away with that.
I'm telling you, man. If there was a Poku slate in a Poku game, this is it.
It's got to be this, right?
Right. It's literally like now or never.
Hold on. I'm not gonna lie. Hold on. I'm gonna do something. Hold on. After I finish my FanDuel lives, there's something I want. I just don't want to be called a liar. So there's something I have to do that I said during the early stream I would do.
By the way, Keldon Johnson is fine. I don't think he's an awesome play, but he's totally fine, even with Vassell and McDermott back. I think it's hilarious that they even has to be an issue between McDermott and just play Keldon Johnson. I know it's not the best thing for the team right now, and he's trying to build his Popovich's way. He's the greatest coach, but I don't know. If I were him, I would build out these young guys and let them just go wild together. I actually like the Spurs like nucleus. Just think they need a star. That's to go with Murray.
Let me change my FanDuels. I want to hit the X button on Cooper over here too. See what that gives me. Oh, I think I already have the X button over there. No, I don't. All right, so now I have the X button over there, and that's obviously going to get me 8 million% CeeDee Lamb, which seems to make sense. So let's change these FanDuels. And then I'm
just loading up more Poku. I can't get enough Poku tonight.
Oh man.
I'm serious. This is the time to do it. I really, really think it is.
The bomb over here. We're gonna do this over here. Now we're gonna see the lobby.
I really like these. I think I need to get some of the Knicks exposure, by the way, because what you've got is a situation where you can afford to have your guys not 5x and you're okay. Like you just need the raw points, and those guys, one of those three is going to put up a good raw points game, and they probably all three are solid enough. And no one's playing those guys, so that's a way to get off of some Giannis, maybe.
Okay, here we go. I promised I would do this, so I'm going to do this. Hold on, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing after I do it. All right, so first I have to upload. There's a hint. I want to upload projections, but I'm uploading it to a different slate right now. Let's see. Okay. Let's say $50. Yeah, $50.
$50 on Kenny Stills to score a touchdown.
No, that's not.
I'm
No.
just kidding.
Don't be silly. I
That's-
got
that's
much worse than
crazy.
that.
Too crazy.
I got much worse than that. Hold on, let's see.
I don't know if you can get that's like,
A worse play than that? All right, I'll come up with one.
give it a shot. Let's see what you
I
got.
got it. I'm gonna do this in a second. Okay, so now let me find all players. Okay, very nice. Okay. Okay, let's go.
All right, guys, keep popping in if there's any questions. I'll keep taking a look. Looks like there's sort of drying up here. Could be football related. We still have to do our football lineups too.
No, hold on. We gotta. How do I do this? Oh, I know how to do it. I know this. The suspense is terrible here. But okay, we'll lock him in. Then we're gonna build two lineups. Two lineups. No, we'll build 3 lineups. Okay. Unable to generate any lineups.
Giannis, Rose. Too much money to spend no matter what I do.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna actually, I'll do it live on DraftKings. They can yell at me later. All right, so we're gonna spend crown. So let's see, who's everybody's best play here in this late game here. So we have Portland. I guess we're gonna have to play McCollum, play him at shooting guard. We're gonna play DeJounte Murray at point guard. We're going to play Ayton over here. We're going to do this totally manually. Who's other good Phoenix guy? Who's our favorite? You like Cam Johnson better than
He's fine.
better than Sham?
I can't find a way to play Shamet. I think I got Shamet in my one lineup. It was my original one that I was working off of, and I don't think I have him anywhere else. I mean, you could try playing Shamet in addition to one of those guards. I just think you got to play one of those guards also.
I mean, just from the late game, just the late games.
Yeah. I do have Shamet in one lineup still, with Man, yeah, and Poku. I like that actually a lot. I really like this lineup.
I'm going to put Shamet in. But actually, Shamet's not going to work in this lineup. Simons. I can play Simons. Play Simons. And then who else in Phoenix looks good? I could probably afford Nurkic, actually, with what I'm trying to do here. And then could play Crowder. That looks good. And then small forward, play Cam Johnson. And then, as I promised, we're going to play Josh Jackson.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I told you on the late slate. I told you I would do
Okay.
it. So that's it. Play him on the late slate. We're actually in for no money. We're in for crowns. We're in
That's
for
still
crowns
something.
on Josh Jackson. One lineup.
Do I still play poker? I did during the pandemic, and I did well, but I haven't been playing recently. No, DDR or Levine, DKGPP. The answer is DeRozan, I think, but I like Levine specifically in this matchup. So I'm gonna actually play a little more Levine. Also, he'll be a little lower owned on DraftKings. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't like Keldon Johnson Sensei either.
What I wouldn't do is try to play Podol and Keldon Johnson together. If you're going to play either, I kind of like both of them, but
yeah, okay. So MJC, so this is a question that is, well, I don't want to stray too much from what we're doing, but whether it is important to stack games and correlate games and run backs and stuff like that is actually something that's not been completely determined. It seems to make sense that you want to, game stack in some way and get some kind of correlation, but it depends on who you ask. I'm telling you, if you ask 100 like people who make a shitload of money playing DFS, you'll really get like 50 on one side and 50 on another of saying, well, doesn't really matter that much. It just hasn't really been determined yet, as opposed to say the NFL, where they've obviously done all the work with the correlations with the running backs and wide receivers and whatever. So the answer is, I really don't know. I think that here are the things that I think instinctively make sense that haven't been proven yet. I think it's instinctively makes sense to play guys in the later games. Okay. Number one, you could change them. Number two, I feel as though they just get underlooked at for no other reason. And again, like people, when they go through game by game, even when we do, it's only natural sometimes for you when you get to the end of your analysis, like even mentally, okay, whatever it is. I mean, I like to think that we don't do that, but human beings, like naturally, they kind of run out of steam, when they get towards the end of any string of things. So that's another thing. And then third of all, people do like to, especially on the East Coast, like get done with some of their exposures. They don't have to stay up late at night for stuff like that. So I think that late game stuff could be somewhat on their own. Do I have proof of that? No. The other
no,
thing
but you get the ability to switch and you get to know.
Well, that's the first thing I said. Yeah. That's for sure. But then with respect to correlation and stuff, like to me, it just makes sense, even for no other reason, that you get that X percent time a game goes to overtime, right? I think that's almost enough, look, all else being equal, like famous last words, right? But ties should go to that type of thing, and whether it's actually true that if one guy scores, that prompts the other guys to score, this back and forth thing. I don't have any data to support it. I've just seen it with my own eyes enough, right? And Bobby, as much as I've seen it, Bobby's seen it 25 times more than I have. Just these guys get freaking juiced up, and one motivates the other, and they just freaking go bananas, So like when we used to play, whatever it was, Lillard versus whoever, and this, that, and the other thing, while it might not make statistical sense, remember, these are not just data points on the freaking spreadsheet. These are human beings that just get motivated by stuff other than what my median projection might be.
There will never be a better example of this than the Jordan Clarkson versus D'Angelo Russell game from a couple of years ago, which I won the six figures on. That was to me like the ultimate example of these guys played for the Lakers. They were both irritated by the way that they, at practice they would go after it. Clarkson always thought he was the much better player and felt frustrated. Russell always felt he was the much better player, and they go and they shot their career high in shots against each other. And they were both 1% owned because logically they didn't make sense to play. But I won all the money because that's what you go on. In basketball, it's different than other sports. NFL, you do want some correlation, at least with your own team. You want your quarterback to throw to a receiver. Things like that are basic. In basketball, pace of play, games staying close. And here's another reason why it's important, in my opinion, to get some sort of correlation and some sort of stacking. 5% of the games, that's 1 out of 20. It sounds like a long shot, but 5% of games go to overtime.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah. So that extra thing makes all the difference in the world.
Yep.
When you have that. Oh my God. Giannis is not listed as a starter for the Raptors.
Huh?
What is going on? Oh, they're going to update it in a few minutes, I guess. But I actually had a sneaky worry about that happening.
What?
Giannis is currently not listed as a starter for the Bucks.
Let me look at some of the discords and see what the hell's going on over here.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
He's benched for bad performance, you think?
Yeah, just only 40. I mean, I understand it going to another country after last night. Like, this seems like a reasonable time to rest him, although they're just finally getting it together and playing well. Well,
Who
kind
was
of
listed
actually.
at the starter? See above. Underdog NBA status alert: Giannis Antetokounmpo not listed as a starter on in-arena stats monitor. We'll
That's a big
update.
deal.
I don't know about that.
I
Okay, so I'm gonna say it was just an error with the scoreboard. That's gonna be my initial take.
I would have taken that same stance, except for I made this point earlier today that this is what's going to happen.
Oh,
So I kind of have to backtrack a little bit.
what time does that game start?
Um,
Someone
that
says
game-
ABC out now. Let's just see
that's
what's
the first. That's the first game.
at 7:30.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what to do.
Guys, whatever you can dig up for us while we're doing this.
What a stupid sport.
It's so dumb. The regular season.
What a total stupid sport.
The awesomeness is the playoffs. You know, the playoffs are great, but this is insanity. So I'm just starting to just get my Middleton and Drew Holidays together. Middleton.
He's not listed as a starter right now. Anyone? The only Bucks I'm going to play is Middleton just to be safe. Someone saying get him out of your lineups. I just see the starting lineup.
Pat Connaughton will start ahead of Giannis, presumed rest.
Who said
Okay.
that?
That's from RG, the Roto Grinders alert.
No, I know that.
What do you mean?
No, but where are they getting that from? Is what I'm saying.
Oh no.
Someone said just turned on the Weather Channel. They said it's Portis season.
This is going to be hard to even get him out of all these lineups like this fast.
Oh, I'll be able to do it, but I just want to make sure I'm doing this.
Yeah, you got the mass swap thing going on for you.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll even be able to build lineups. So, but someone is asking, is Giannis confirmed out? I don't see that. Oh, someone says yes, but I don't have a.
I mean, that's as much confirmation as we generally go on.
I guess so, huh? There's nothing from the Bucks, right? But it's from.
I haven't seen that yet, but there we go. Hold on. Giannis officially out. Rest. Great. You know what? How come we couldn't know that earlier in the day, considering they were flying to another freaking country? Did he go with the team
true.
even? That's ridiculous. Get it together.
I hate to do this to everybody. I think like you, Bobby. I gotta run. I gotta do this.
Do your thing. Yeah, I'm here. Oh, I guess I'm not here. All right. Goodbye, guys.